All right, thank you, Ross. Good morning, everybody. Well, first of all, would just echo that. Super proud of Darian. Just excited for him. I let the team know last night, and those are the type of awards that I love to see us win. We've won a Campbell Trophy here. We've had people on the Good Works team. We've won the Bowden Award. We've had. So I guess we'll put the Warfel Trophy on alert here. I think that's another one that kind of fits what we're all about here. But man, this is an award that I've seen many times given out. I've been at the ESPN Awards show many times and have listened to the presentation on the Disney Award and what it's all about. And it's just a great award. It's a great honor for Darian. This is the most inspirational figure in college football. It's not necessarily a player or a coach or whatever, but the most inspirational figure. And we've had, lots of people. In particular, I remember a couple years ago, Tyler Trent, winning it and how special that was. So, this is awesome. And Darian, what a great example he is. He's a undersized running back but a really good player. And had a couple of ACL surgeries in high school and still put the work in, chased his dream. And not only did he chase his dream, but he accomplished his dream and has become a good player for us here at Clemson. I mean, he's a very productive guy and has become a great leader, an inspirational leader within this locker room and in this building. And that's, to me, is what it's all about. It's making the best of what you have and working every day to be the best version of you, and doing it with joy and doing it in a way that impacts those around you in a very positive manner. And Darian has certainly done that with this team, the community, and beyond. So I'm really proud of him, happy for him, and just a great honor. But as far as us. Sad that our home season is over, but it was a great finish for us this past week. Just really appreciate our fans for showing up this year and giving us the best, even in this environment we're all in, giving us the best, home atmosphere out there. Really appreciate our fans for that. So proud of our team, but from this point forward, we got to go get it done on the road and. Got a big challenge this week going up to Blacksburg. Looking forward to it because this will be a different type of challenge than what we've seen. Night game, Blacksburg, the weather, snow, rain, you name it. So to me, that's a great challenge and something we look forward to. But their football team. First of all, when you look at their offense, a lot of times, again, you look at a record or at least fans may look at a record and be quick to judge somebody. But that's not what we do as coaches. When you look at this offense, they're 9th in the nation in rushing. They're 4th in the nation in yards per carry, almost 6 yards a carry. And the quarterback is 2nd in the country in all-purpose yards. So this is a real challenge for our defense this week as far as schematically what they do. I mean, they're really well coached. They've got a great scheme, and basically it's option football in a nutshell with a guy who can throw the ball really well and a bunch of misdirection and eye candy to go with it. Screen game, boots, wheels, all the play action, every run they have, they got to pass off of it, all the tricks, throwbacks, you name it. They got it, but it starts with running the football. Very veteran offensive line. This is probably one of the more physical groups that we've seen. They play well up front. They got some guys outside that have made some big plays for them. But it all starts with this quarterback. I mean, he's a really dangerous football player, for sure. Like I said, he's second in the country in all purpose. So very good player. Got a big challenge there. Especially with the style of play. And then defensively, the Virginia Tech has had a long history of defensive football. And, they're a 4-3 front. they've been kind of up and down a little bit with some of their personnel, but they've had an open date, so I'm sure they'll be getting some guys back and be as healthy as they've been in a long time. But same thing, they play physical. They get after you up front. They're about a 50% blitz team and bring a lot of pressure. So we've got to do a great job in matching up on that side. So looking forward to it though, and hopefully continuing to improve our team. I thought we did some good things last week that we can build on, but still plenty of mistakes that we can learn from. And also excited about some of our guys getting back. We came through the game really well, and still moving in a good direction as far as the health of our team. But with that, I'll take your questions.
This is Trevor Tigers.com. I don't know if you'll play Florida State, but I guess if you don't, then you can clinch a spot in the ACC championship with this game. Will you break out the orange bridges for this game?
Well, I don't know that, so, I mean, nobody's told me that at this point, but, something happens, and then that could definitely be a possibility. But right now we gotta go win 2 games.
Dabo Williams, y'all are obviously really pleased with what you saw from the offensive line against Pitt. I'm wondering how much just mere freshness contributed to that. They played after 6 straight weeks of football and then having that time off. How big of a deal has that been?
I definitely think it's a big deal. I mean, we just kind of nature of where we are this year, personnel-wise, our OL has had to play a bunch of snaps, and we've played a lot of physical football. A bunch of physical teams in a row, going back to Virginia, to Miami, to BC, to Notre Dame. A bunch of physical football. Syracuse, physical football team, and it's a tough game and an incredibly tough position, especially when you don't have a very good rotation. But we've gotten a little better. We've been able to develop a little depth. We got some guys that I think are, even though they haven't played as much, I think they're in a much better place now to be able to go in there and help us if we need them. But there's just, we're just different than we were last year, where we had a lot of these guys, Bach and Cade and Putnam rolling in there, McFadden, all those guys were rolling in there along with a bunch of veteran seniors in Pollard and Jermaine Ankrum and Cervinka and John Simpson. I mean, we were a really, really deep group last year. And so it's definitely part of it. So there's no question for everyone. The open date for us was huge. And, just guys getting fresh, and I think we're in a good place right now, and hopefully we can really finish the way we want to finish.
Dabo, Dennis from CDS Sports. You may have been asked this, but what did you see from Trevor over those 5 weeks? Just it seemed to get out there and being able to get out there last Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, same Trevor. I mean, he was out, 10 days, I guess. And those 10 days he wasn't here physically, but he was here every single day. He was in our Friday night meetings. He was in our position meetings. He missed the one game, but he traveled with us to Notre Dame, and it was just a part of everything, no different. And then, he was just a day or so off from being able to play at Notre Dame because of the cardiac protocol that you have to go through. And, you can't speed that up. You got to go through that the right way. And so, he's great. And then he was right back at practice after the Notre Dame game that Monday, and just repping every snap, and unfortunate. We had a good open date week, a week of preparation, and then great week of preparation getting ready for Florida State. And so, I mean, really nothing different, and then just went back to work. And so he just the thing about Trevor, and you hear it all the time, he literally his practice reps are game reps. That's just how he goes about his business. That's why he's so consistent in the game environment. The game is slow to him. Fortunately, we have a defense that can create that game mindset, because it's a challenge every single day on our practice field for both sides of the ball. But it all comes back to just his approach, his demeanor, so it was great. He had great practices, great preparation, and even though we didn't have game tape for a few weeks there, we had a lot of practice tape and a lot of competitive plays, 2-minute drills, team pass, one-on-ones, you name it. So he just getting back into game action and picked up where he left off.
And real quick, what's it been like for you as a head coach just to, I asked Brian Kelly this yesterday, just to wait for the results of those tests every week or every day, not knowing what's going to show up because really you don't.
No. Yeah. I don't worry about it anymore. I mean, early in the season, especially the first couple weeks, I mean, it was like you're a little freaked out about it. I mean, I remember our first trip to Wake Forest, and I'm like, okay. And again, that's why we expanded the rosters to 80 from 72 so that we would have more players available on Friday if you had positives, especially if you were the road team. And I remember, our first game, that first week, you just, every and now you get the test back quicker and all that stuff. But here comes that text, and you're like, okay, and so it just became a kind of a part of our deal as we went through the season. And now I don't even really, it doesn't even faze me. And our guys have done such a good job. I mean, the last positive we had as a player was that Friday in Tallahassee. We've not had a single player positive since. And so we don't have a lot of issues. Our guys have done a great job, in being committed and sacrificing and being disciplined. And our administration, our medical, everybody's been amazing as far as how we've mitigated things, and it's shown that the protocols have worked. But it just is what it is. You don't even work. It's just like the injury report. Okay, all right, this guy's out. You got to, as coach, you can't sit around and dwell on it. You gotta have the next guy ready to go, and you got to find a way to give your team a chance to win. No, he was actually. We had a staff member who was out for the game, and so he was able to be elevated to on the field for the game. He was just doing his job on game day. He did a great job with those guys. I have not.
Also, I talked to Jamie Chadwell yesterday and asked him, who he looked to for models and influences for his program. He mentioned you, and he mentioned his mom. Maybe not in that order, but anyway, you hear stuff like that all the time. But, it still must mean something to you that successful young coaches look to you like that. What do you think about that?
Well, I appreciate that, and I think that we just want to be a great program. We've always, from day one, we've wanted to build a model program that could be a model of consistency, not just win, but win the right way and win in a way that builds young people. I've always said it's not the X's and O's, it's the hearts and souls, and that you're dealing with every single day. And, if we win a bunch of games, but we don't impact and shape lives doing it, then it's not worth the paper that it's printed on. In my opinion, that's just our approach and always has been. And, but that's what we set out to do, was to build a program that other teams would want to be like, because I know what we do here is right. I know what we do here is the way it should be for young people. And, I hope that lots of other programs, want to do things the way Clemson does things. We're certainly not perfect, and there's no perfect people. There's no perfect places. But we got a lot of good people with a lot of great intentions. And I think that's what it's all about. And so that's a great compliment. He's a great young coach and got a bright future. I've known him for a while and followed him, and he's done an amazing job down there at Coastal. And again, just really proud of his success. But I love taking opportunity and time to share with other coaches and try to help other coaches. But because I think that's important. It's not like I want to be able to I tell our players all the time, hey, take what we have here and take it with you. And again, it's unique. What we have here is special. It's unique. It's uncommon. And you look at the last decade, and we're the second winningest team in the country. And 9 out of the last 10 years, we're top 10 academically with Duke and Northwestern. That's very unique. And we've done it our way. We've done it the Clemson way, and we've stayed the course. And now we have a program that is rooted in culture and rooted in doing the right things, and just always looking to get better, always striving for excellence in all we do. We have discipline, we have accountability. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be disappointments. There's always going to be failures along the way, but it's how you respond to those things. And ultimately, it's the type of men that come out of your program, period. And I'll put our program up against anybody, and what we've been able to do with the amount of graduates, the academic consistency and excellence that we've had to go along with consistency on the field. That's a unique thing in college football. So, we take a lot of pride in that aspect.
Back to Rancher for a minute. What do you see for him beyond his playing days? Is he a coach? Is he a politician? What is he?
He's whatever he wants to be. I mean, there's Darian Rancher can do whatever he wants to do. Whatever he sets his mind to do, he'll be successful. No doubt about it, because he's equipped. He knows how to work hard, knows how to persevere. He's got all the tools that you need to be successful in life. He's smart. He's an excellent problem solver. He's good with people. So whatever he wants to do, he'll be successful.
Coach, you've been in coaching a long time. How unique is it to see a guy like Bridger, who's not one of your superstars, be such an important leader on your team?
Yeah, well, again, that goes back to the culture of our program, and it's been that way for a long time around here. They're all the same to me. They really are. Whether you're a walk-on or the star player, you still got to be accountable. You got to have discipline. You got to be committed. You got to work your tail off to be the best version of you. That's all I want from every kid that comes through here, is for them to become the best version of themselves, and to be committed, and to be a great teammate. And we've had a lot of guys that have been walk-on players or whatever, maybe not the starter or whatever, but they're great leaders. You don't have to be we've had some starters that are terrible leaders. It doesn't, that doesn't always equate. It's great when your best player is also your best leader, and those things, that's great. That's not always the case. Leadership can come from everyone. It can be a freshman. I remember Christian Wilkins, he was a leader the day he got here. I mean, literally. He wasn't sitting around waiting on somebody to lead him. He was a leader the day he got here as a true freshman. And we've had walk-ons that way. We've had fifth-year seniors that didn't play at all, that had unbelievable respect from their teammates. That's the opportunity to lead on a football team comes through your actions, comes through your work ethic, and that's not always seen by people on game day. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
Dabo, this is Grace with The Athletic. I know you guys don't get super caught up in individual honors, but where do you think Trevor is with the Heisman right now, and what would it mean to Clemson for him to win the program's first ever if he could pull it out?
Well, I mean, if our goal was for him to win the Heisman, he'd be leading the Heisman right now. There's no doubt about that. But that's not our goal. Our goal is to win the game, and he's if you look at I think it was Tim Beret put it out or something. It was a stat he put out. He's only played in like 20 of his 37 fourth quarters that he's been in. So almost half his games he hasn't played in the fourth quarter. He's been on a dominant football team. We've won more games the last 5 years than anybody in the history of college football. He's been a dominant player. And unfortunately, the Heisman is a lot about stats, and Trevor's stats are through the roof. I mean, they're crazy stats, but he and they could be. If that was our number one goal was to win a Heisman, we'd already have one, but it's not the goal. This is not a program built on individual things or built on team. We want to win. The trophy we want to win is the team trophy. And so if it happens, it happens. I mean, the best player in the country is Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I don't really care what anybody says, and there's a lot of great players out there, but the best player in the country is Trevor Lawrence. So it's just the way it is. And he doesn't need to win the Heisman for that to be the case. I mean, most logical people out there know that, but it's all about stats and all this type of stuff. This guy is play in, play out. If you really watch him, I mean, it's unbelievable, and that's why he'll be the first pick in the draft, and it won't be close. It won't be close.
Dabo, this is PvP. Yesterday, Brent was telling us how while some of the defensive starters were out, it gave really critical reps to some of those younger guys, and we're seeing that on the field. We saw some of that on the field last Saturday. Now that it's all coming together, that must give everybody on this team so much confidence.
It does.
You guys could achieve.
It does. I mean, you look at the development of Trenton Simpson, with Mike Jones going out, and all of a sudden he's forced, and man, he's gotten better and better and better. And you look at Malcolm Green, he's a true freshman, and he's developing, and he's coming. Fred Davis has gotten a lot of good snaps where, we've developed all of those safeties have gotten some experience. All of our backers have gotten some experience. Just really pleased with what Miles Murphy and Brzee have been able to do this year as true freshmen. So, I mean, all across the board defensively, we've had to mix and match all year. And so we're getting to that point now where we've got, all these guys back. You look at the year, Sheridan, he's going to be back, but Sheridan's had, and Mario, I mean, we've had injuries. We've had a little bit of everything across the board, but guys that we've continued to play, well. And we've been just forced to have to get guys ready in different roles and so forth. Skowski being out has given a lot of guys opportunities. You look at what Balin Spector's done this year. So where we are right now, totality-wise, after 9 games, it's really pleasing as far as where we started from every aspect, from a depth standpoint, a functional depth standpoint, confidence, just knowledge and understanding of our scheme and what we're asking people to do. We're fundamentally better. We technically are more consistent. So I'm proud of what we've been able to do. And I definitely think that that's a positive for us, down the stretch here.
Hey, Dabo, David with ESPN. Do you have a strong opinion on whether you want to play another game after this? I mean, would it be, as you said, with the number of injuries that you had, would it be beneficial to have some more snaps for some of those guys as you get ready for the postseason, or in your mind, would it be easier just to have the week off, an extra week to prepare for a potential ACC title game?
Well, unless you were living under a rock last week or so, I had a strong opinion then.
Well, I don't necessarily mean it has to be against Florida State, but just anyone would be good. Or?
Yeah, and we didn't get to play the game, but we were, we had a runaway bride. We were walking down the aisle, and so we were prepared. And it's not like you just didn't get to play. I mean, you work all week. You're prepared. So again, whatever they tell us to do, I mean, that's the end of the day. But my strong opinion was already voiced. I'm sure there's video. You can probably find it somewhere.
But do you think there's a benefit to whether it's Florida State, whether it's any other team? Would you?
I think if we had to play a game, we should play the game that was scheduled. That's what I think. We shouldn't have to prepare for a 12th game. We shouldn't. You know, we had an 11-game schedule. We should play the game that we prepared to play. If we are supposed to play a game.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor again. Coach Venables was telling us yesterday that he thought Skowski maybe played even earlier than he should have because it meant so much to him to play on Senior Day. The Butkus Award semifinalist list came out yesterday. He was not on it. A couple Pac-12 guys were on it despite playing 3 games. But is Skowski just one of those guys that's much more valuable than his stat line?
Yeah, no question, no doubt about it. He is a great player, and yeah, I mean, I personally didn't think he'd be back till Virginia Tech, but that's just the nature of who he is, and that was his goal, was to get back for the Pitt game, and he achieved his goal.
Dabo, it's Matt. Do you know right now how likely it is that y'all play a 12th game?
I have no idea.
How weird is this season where I guess you don't know if this is your last game or not, and you don't really know the future? Just how weird has it been having this?
It's just the norm. It's just Tuesday in 2020. That's just the way it is. So I'm just trying to win the day and have a great Tuesday practice. I mean, yeah, that's it. Better be light on your feet in 2020.
Dabo, Larry Williams, I guess piggybacking off of Matt's weirdness question, how weird is it to not know until you did when you were playing this week? And I guess the job of the folks, I guess Mike Dooley and DJ having to plan for all that stuff. Do you have any insight into that?
So that what are you asking again?
Just the unknown, having to wait so long to hear about when you're playing this week.
You talking about the kickoff time? Okay, I didn't know what you were talking about. I was like, I didn't know what you're talking about. I didn't understand. So yeah, we've known we're playing VTech. We just didn't know the time because, you know, they got all kind of drama going on. But you know, I mean, it's not that big a deal. I mean, the biggest issue is just we got to set the charter. We got to have playing times and all that. But that's not really that big a deal. You know, we've got a noon schedule, we got a 3:30 schedule, we got an 8 o'clock schedule, and so, you know, there's certainly logistics involved, but typically you know a little bit earlier, but you know, so that way you can schedule get your itinerary done, get your buses lined up, and all that type of stuff. But you know, wouldn't affect too much our Friday, but definitely would affect the Saturday routine for sure.
Hey, Dabo, you have had a lot of great players come through your program over the years, but when it comes to Trevor and Travis and the fact that you've gotten to have them together for 3 years, I mean, certainly with all the opt-outs this year, it would have been not unreasonable for Trevor to go that route. He was completely the opposite, pushing to be able to play. I think almost all of us expected Travis to leave after last year, and he wanted to come back and play again. What is the extra year of time that you've got with them, and maybe the 3 years that you've had with them together on the same field? What's it been like to coach that? What's the impact that it's had on your program, the culture, the team, all of that?
I mean, they've got a lasting legacy. I mean, I love coaching all these guys, and again, my goal is for them to be leaders, to be great teammates, to be the best version of themselves. And obviously, you have a guy like Trevor Lawrence, well, the best version of himself. You got a lot to work with. But man, I love all these guys, even the guy that maybe doesn't have as much ability. But man, how good can we be? And you got to be willing to put the work in. And so when you have a guy like you know, Trevor was pretty amazing when he showed up here, and just his development. I mean, it's incredible, and him having another year to play, it's just so prepared him for the next step. And then Travis, same thing, man. Travis it's night and day, the player he is. I mean, it's amazing what you can do in a year. We all know that, and that's in life, but especially in football. Football is a developmental game, and that's why I always laugh when people think kids can just go from high school to the NFL. I mean, it's just such a lack of understanding and a total disrespect for what it takes to play at that level, and for these grown men that are playing at the highest level. It's just because football, it's just such a game of knowledge. The physical aspect, the development, and you can have some guys that physically look like they could go step into an NFL locker room. Very few, but you could have a few in high school. But the knowledge, the technique, the fundamentals, it's incredible the amount of development that has to take place to give you a chance. And I don't care how talented you are. And so it's been awesome. You know, Trevor's just so developed, so much further along. The coaching that he's gotten, the challenge that he's had, the preparation, what he's seen, what the experience. He's so prepared now. And then Travis, the same thing. You know, here's a kid that came in here as a kid that could just flat out run the ball. And that's just what he did. Give him the ball and he ran. And he was in an option attack. And now, you know, he is a complete player at his position. And that's come through putting the work in, through commitment, working hard on his weaknesses, you know, being coachable. And now, as I've said many times, he's a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he can do anything. There's nothing he can't do at his position. He is a complete player and so equipped. And him coming back this year and the way we've had to use him has changed everything for him as far as his confidence and what he's going to bring to a team at the next level. It's pretty awesome. I mean, he just broke C.J. Spiller's single-season receiving record. I mean, if you'd told me that Travis Etienne, the one that I saw as a freshman, was going to break Spiller's receiving record, I would have never believed that. And so, you know, it's amazing. And that's what I love about football. Again, it's a developmental sport. And if you put the work in, you're committed, you're going to get better. And he is just, this extra year has really, really helped him maturity-wise, knowledge-wise, skill-wise, you name it, all across the board. And they love playing. They love Clemson. They love their teammates. You know, that's why they came back. That's why they're here. That's why they wanted to play football. They like playing the game.
Hey, Dabo, it's Phil Kornblut. Have you had any seniors tell you already that they want to take advantage of the opportunity to come back for another year? And if you have any of those, is it open arms? You just welcome them all back if they want to come back?
Absolutely. I'll take them all back. I told Travis I'll save number 9 for him just in case. Yeah, I've had a few that have told me that's kind of where they're leaning. But you know, not going to get into all that now. But, yeah, I'd take them all back if they it's a, you know, it's a free year.
Coach, Virginia Tech's Trevor again. Virginia Tech's running back Herbert leads the nation in all-purpose yards, 4th nationally in rushing yards. Just what kind of a back is he?
Good player, and not just him. You know, he goes from 25 to 0. He's worn 2 different numbers, but man, they and 6 gets in there. I mean, they're really good. I mean, like I said, they're 9th in the country in rushing the football. They're 4th in yards per carry. Quarterback is a great runner, and that's just how they're built. That's what they're committed to, and then everything that comes off of that from a play action standpoint, and backs getting out of the backfield, you know, on the wheels and those type of things. They stress you. I mean, this is a team schematically that really knows what they're doing, and we're gonna have to be ready. We're gonna have to play really well. Lots of discipline. And you know, win some matchups, you know, win the line of scrimmage, and affect this quarterback. But if you don't stop the run against these guys, you're in trouble. and not every, they've, like I said, that's why they're 9th in the country. They've been pretty successful at it.
Any additional questions for Coach Swinney?
Hey, Coach.
All right, we're going to turn it over quickly to a special guest.
Hey, Coach. I've been instructed to ask the last question. What is it like for one of your players to win the Disney Spirit Award?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. That's kind of how I started the press conference. Those are the type of awards that I want our program to be known for. The Campbell Trophy, the Disney Spirit Award, the Bowden Award. We gotta see if we can find that Warfel Trophy in here somewhere along the way. The AFCA Good Works Team. I mean, those are great awards that I think any program should covet. At least we do around here. So, fine, glad that happened, and couldn't have happened to a better guy. So, we all proud of you, Wrench, and know you'll represent us well. And I don't know, is there a free trip to Disney that comes with that?
Hey, look, we're gonna have to get something.
Man, hey, I'm all in for some Space Mountain. Count me in. Maybe we'll get like a private Disney trip. It'd be awesome.
All right, with that, we will close up Coach Swinney. Darian's now available for questions if you all would like to take it away with him.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Always like that interaction. Usually that stuff performs better than the individual stuff.
Please go ahead with questions for Darian.
Darian and Joe Gorcho, WIS. Just what does this award mean to you personally, especially with all you went through to get to this point, to be a Clemson Tiger and be part of the program like you have?
Legit have been bawling my eyes out the past 30 minutes.